If journalism is good, it is controversial by its nature. It is the role of good journalism to take on powerful abuses. And when powerful abuses are taken on, there is always a back reaction. So we see that controversy, and I believe that is a good thing to engage in. We released 400,000 classified documents, the most extraordinary history of a war to have ever been released in our civilization. Those documents cover 109,000 deaths. That is a serious matter, and it is extraordinarily disrespectful to those people to start conflating the first revelation of that material with any sort of tabloid journalism. We can see that some material has potential for substantial human rights reform, and this is one of those cases. So we put in a little bit of extra effort to try and get the material well looked at and well publicized.
Accused of basically threatening the national security of the United States and possibly putting American lives at risk. Do you believe the White House when they say that?
No, and quite frankly, that's nonsense. We're used to exposing corrupt or abusive organizations or the actions of otherwise mainly good organizations where there's some component that is abusive, and we often get this sort of line that people will try and distract from the significance of the evidence against them by trying to shoot the messenger. And that's what seems to be happening in this case. All the material released here is at least 7 months old. It's of no tactical consequence. In addition, we have held back some 15,000 files for further review to make sure there's not going to be sort of any harm that comes to people as a result of this release.
As you may have seen in the previous newscast clips, Julian Assange is the main subject of controversial news today. Reporting back to you from WIC headquarters, Dunya Darwish. WikiLeaks is an international organization that publishes private, secret, and classified documents from anonymous sources. This information must be credible before going on the WikiLeaks site. The people who send in these documents are in most cases whistleblowers that are located all around the world. WikiLeaks founder is an Australian activist by the name of Julian Assange. WikiLeaks has been published in 2007. Before working with the website, Julian Assange was a physics and mathematics student, as well as a programmer. He travels from unidentified location and is constantly on the go. He won 3 journalism awards for his work with WikiLeaks. He was arrested by London Metropolitan Police December 7, 2010, under the suspicion of sexual offenses. WikiLeaks' purpose is to expose oppressive regimes all around the world and is there as a tool to be of assistance to the people of all regions who wish to reveal unethical behavior in their governments and corporations. What are some of the controversial documents released by WikiLeaks? There are reports of toxic waste dumpings on the African coast, Church of Scientology manuals, Guantanamo Bay procedures, and many more. WikiLeaks has released more than 251,000 classified documents. Governments around the world keep blocking the website, but WikiLeaks bypasses it by using a separate URL. This has been going on for years, but it's just a cat and mouse game, because once it's public online, it's permanently public forever. WikiLeaks remains uncensored and still online today. The great advantages that WikiLeaks brings to the population is that now we can know what the government is really doing. The government keeps many secrets from the population and in more cases only gives part of the information to keep the citizens quiet and satisfied. The government often uses the excuse of protecting the population from information that will only do them harm. But isn't it the population that elects the government? Wouldn't the world be a more honest and safe place if the information was at least available to us? If only we knew what was going on, we could adjust accordingly and act appropriately given the circumstances. How can people run a government if what they believe is secrecy? We should know what's being done to rule our country. The population is tired of this discrimination and they believe that it's time to stand up. If the government isn't ready to start being honest with the population, maybe they should not be the ones ruling our country. A lack of information is not a way to protect our population. It is to create more possibilities for harm, danger, and anything else. The freedom to access information is a law, and if our government cannot follow these laws implemented, then they should certainly not be running our country.